Welcome back once again, everybody. This is You Be Alright podcast presented by AML Media. That is after our late mother, Alberta Marie Labordi Media. Love you, Mom. Steven isn't here quite yet. He's rocking a piss. But this is episode 7. I am Gene Labordi. Pretty soon you'll see my brother Steven R. Labordi officially on Twitter. And my beautiful wife, our producer, Rachel. Rachel, why don't you give us our plugs while my brother hikes his pants back up?
Okay, we are on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. All of our social media handles are on the screen, so take a screenshot if you're watching the video, or you can always go to our website to find links to all of our pages. Our website is AML.NEWS.BLOG.
Thank you very much for that, Rachel. We will get into the podcast, but first, as always needed, the inaugural crap high five. That's when you know you have a real friend. A crap high five works just as well. Yeah. Let's get on into it.
Let's do it. You know, dude, you're being like a strong man, like a demigod, like what they call Trump.
I wouldn't call it demigod.
Not demigod, demagogue.
So G-O-G?
Google and we'll read it out loud for the people.
I'm getting called. We're starting off. We're getting called a
demagogue.
Demagogue. Demagogue, a political leader who seeks support and appealing to the desires and prejudice of ordinary people rather than by using rational argument. And some of the people they're putting out there, yeah, you know what? I am a demagogue.
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 Well, that's fine. The world needs demagogues.
I'm a demigoon.
You're a demigoon. Okay. Now, what's a demigod? That's just half
that's
god,
half god.
Human?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, if your dad was a god, impregnated a human.
That's in the Bible.
Really?
Yeah, man. The angels came down, and they found the human women sexual. Yeah.
And we're like, these are nice. They're so easy. All we have to do is, like, look, magic, sex.
And nobody really wants to take a second look at that.
You know what? Because everyone goes, women are like, yeah, you know what? I would like a god to come down to me, and they probably can pleasure a woman like no human can.
Yeah. I don't know, though. That's scary to me.
Yeah, but what if...
Dude, angels have wings. That's scary, bro.
When you... Yeah, there's certain movies out there that actually, like, show, like... Well,
you're talking about, like, the demon angels where...
No, but what's that movie that the dude's from... I'm not even supposed to work here today, dude. Something dog... It's got dog in it. It's... And it'll come to me. Kevin Smith is the director of it.
I don't like Kevin Smith.
No, but it's the one movie that was pretty famous.
Every picture that guy takes, he does his stupid face.
And the hockey jersey.
Look up a picture of Kevin Smith. It's the same fucking picture every time. He's too old to be trying
Dogma.
Dogma. Because that's one I think they cut off the wing, but like they show it, it's like, yeah, if someone came down with women or with wings, it would be scary.
Oh, that movie with Chris Rock.
I think he's in it.
Yeah, that movie.
I was really young when it came out, so it like went over my head a little bit.
I think it went over everyone's. It was supposed to be like a comedy, but like I don't know.
I just remember Jay and Silent Bob. I think were in it for a quick second, and that was like when my first stoner flicks. That was I think you might have bought me that DVD for Christmas one year.
Me?
I think so, because I know you bought me Tommy Boy.
Go ahead.
You bought me a couple DVDs because you brought CKY. You bought me a CKY DVD for Christmas one year.
Yeah, you're welcome. That was a sweet gift.
Because that was when Jackass was cool, and then I went to my friends. I was like, you guys don't even know, because there was like I could be like I have their original stuff.
They weren't hip to it yet. That was pre-Jackass.
Yeah, that was the precursor. I see what you're saying.
He always does this stupid fucking...
But is it because he's skinny now, so he's trying to show that he has a neck? Because if you look at pictures of me, like I normally sit like this, but pictures, I'm usually trying to make it appear like I have a neck.
Maybe. He just looks...
Yeah, I can see why someone wouldn't like him. But he's...
I'm Kevin Smith.
Although Tusk,
yeah,
he had his
movie.
hands in that.
Yeah, it was a weird fucking movie.
Yeah.
But a good watch.
And then there was that, I I don't think you ever watched the one I was telling you about with the sausage Nazis.
You did tell me about that.
It's all in the same universe. You know, to get a convenience store and something happens and then these sausages turn into Nazis. That one's not really worth the watch, but it's also crazy that they
think.
Well, if you tell me, hey, this movie is called Tusks because I don't. Well, fuck a spoiler alert if you haven't seen it by now. But if you told me like, dude, this guy gets turned into a walrus, I'd be like, well, I'm not watching that.
Bullshit. That's what you told me about it, and I was like, let's watch that.
Yeah. Well, and I guess
because you told me it was like kind of a horror movie.
It's a horror, scary movie,
and
a little bit,
like, okay.
And then also Johnny Depp's just kind of in it a little bit,
which we didn't even know going into it.
No, and then when I went down that rabbit hole of that sausage Nazi one, he's in it too. He's like he's a detective in both movies. But now they're good watches, guys. Go watch Tusk if you haven't seen that yet.
This is really bad.
Yeah, well, he lost a lot of weight late in his life, so
good for you. Good for him.
Yeah, I can't hate on him that. So we're trying, I guess, a new format here a little bit, just diving in, you know, give a little. If you're watching now, you're a real fan, so we like to give you a little behind the scenes. We just wanted to dive in and just show what a real conversation between me and you were like, because right before we started the cameras, I was saying, you look a little sourpussy today.
I'm just tired because I got up this morning to go to the cell phone store, and you were up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
You got the text at 5 o'clock in the morning.
I got the text at 6:30 in the morning. I was taking a piss, and I saw I had a text, and I was like, well, it doesn't matter.
Either way, you said just call me when you're ready, so I took that as...
you were up at 5 o'clock. Why were you up that late? We were supposed to go at 12.
I told you I can be ready at 12.
Okay. Anyway, the podcast.
So he got all sourpuss today.
I'm not sour, but I am a little tired.
He's a little tired, but you should be excited because in big news, you just went from the shittiest phone.
LG, sayonara.
I had those things don't work. When they designed that phone, they were like, they got 70%, and they were like, just fucking put it out. People will buy it.
It got me, I mean, shit, I had it for like 4 years.
Regardless, it just wasn't a good phone, but now you're in the iPhone family.
Yeah.
And you got an Apple Watch. Look at this kid went from not knowing what TikTok was, which he still doesn't really, but now he's like in the future.
He's unsuspended on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm unsuspended at Stephen R. Laborde.
So if you were sending money to a Russian prince named Stephen R. Laborde, stop doing that because he's not real.
Just send it to me now.
Just send it to him.
Get with us on the website and we'll figure that all out. It's a much better cause.
Yeah, it's a real person and not just a drug lord
and a good guy. I'm a pretty good guy. So if you're giving me a scam, I mean,
I did want to say I like your hoodie. I don't like that it says San Francisco. I didn't know Levi's was San Francisco based.
I didn't even read that part. I just thought it was sweet and it's comfortable, dude. It's super comfortable.
It's nice because it's simple, and Levi's is kind of cool throwback. But I might have to rethink it if Levi's is San Francisco based. I don't know how I feel about that. Like maybe, well, it was established in, what does that say? Okay, 1873.
That's badass.
That was badass, San Francisco. There was dudes still
that
like...
was when the Chinamen were still dying, blowing up in caves, building the trains.
Yeah, and we're like, we're going to find gold and change the world.
Yeah.
That's San Francisco has gone through some really radical changes.
It also was completely demolished by an earthquake. That's like, I believe, like one of the most powerful earthquakes to ever hit North America. And it was just completely demolished. And then, you know, now it's what it is.
I've never been to San Francisco, so this is just me speaking off of other people's opinions. So if you get mad at my opinion, you can blame like 13 other people's. But San Francisco, like, people died trying to get out there to get to the gold rush. And now they're all just so...
well, that's a lot of the
Our hills are steep and our food is gay.
What kind of food is gay?
I don't know. Small portions that are like $78.
Anytime I hear someone talk about California pizza, I'm like, that's some gay pizza, I promise.
Dude, when our friend Dusty, love you, buddy, but when he came back, he's like, dude, you got to see this pizza I got. And it had like strings of carrots
I
on
remember that.
I was like, I don't think that's considered a pizza, man. That's bread with stuff on top of it.
Yeah.
Ain't no fun.
Coming from the Northeast, like California pizza just sounds embarrassing.
Yeah, there's gonna be some ingredients on there like why is arugula on? Well,
Dude, and if I remember, the carrots on the pizza were not cooked. They were
no,
fresh
they were raw.
carrots.
It was salad pizza, and I could be wrong, but it might have been a cold pizza. And I was just like, why even? It's not a pizza then. It's bread with ingredients on top of it.
Definitely, pizza is a term that gets thrown around a lot. Like,
Yeah.
To me, I know you used to like when you're a kid, but like Elio's, like, is that pizza?
I still like celiac.
No. I thought I did.
thought
I
you did.
think they changed. And it could just be being a little fat kid that just liked any substance that I could cook for
You did
myself.
like to pick cheese off of things a lot.
But if you told me that there was definitely a change in ingredients, I would 1,000%. Because it was nice. It had. This is probably like the third time we've talked about Elio's on the show, but it had a nice
It's
little.
that bad.
Yeah, but it used to be better. But you know what? Actually, going down the pizza lane, do you remember? Like one of the best frozen pizzas we could get were the Red Baron French bread pizzas.
Yeah.
But we couldn't, like, for some reason, like, you couldn't buy them at the store. Mom had to, like, get them from, like, when the kids would sell school stuff.
We used to get pizza out of the catalog.
It was good. But, yeah, because we were like, this is, and I think maybe eventually we could get it at Sam's or something. But, like, it wasn't just in our grocery stores.
And it's funny because, like, French bread pizza is such, like, a lot of people have never had French bread pizza.
Well, because there can be terrible French bread
I'm
pizza.
sure.
Like, if you get, like, so I've gotten it in Pittsburgh here, they call them a pizza boat. And I've gotten it from a restaurant that was really good. Steven's tripping balls right now.
I got it. There's a hair right in my eye.
I just look over and he's like,
I got it.
but no, I've gotten a pizza boat, which they call it here, and it was really good. And then we ordered from someone else, and I was like, dude, it was like wet. It's not, like I think they dropped it in water, and they were like, just send it out anyway.
Okay.
But
yeah.
anyway, back to Red Baron.
Maybe they call it a pizza boat because it's like supposed to be like wet, like watery, like a boat.
Well, what the?
I don't know.
That is would
like-
be some crazy. That's competitive eater shit. Just dipping it in water to shove it down your gullet.
Yeah.
And Pittsburgh would be the
let's
place
get
to
rid
do
of
that.
Kevin Smith's face.
Is that
This
pissing you off?
motherfucker is lame. Okay.
But no, so we were at the store the other day, and I seen them. Dude, they hold up. If you see the
French bread pizzas.
Red Baron French bread pizza, they still. Did we do air fryer or just the oven, Reach?
I did that in the oven.
Yeah, so take the extra, 15 minutes to cook it in the oven, and dude, it was banging.
Yeah, the air fryer is great, but it can't really broil like an oven where you get that top down heat.
So our air fryer, we've never tried it yet, but it has a broil option.
We did, yeah. When our last one died, because we use it so much, we got like the fucking Cadillac of air fryers. But it's still funny because all we use is the air fryer setting.
fry setting.
But the nice thing is it's got 2 baskets, so you can like be doing vegetables and your meat at the same time.
Yeah, I'll have to. I haven't used my air fryer yet since I moved to my place, but I bought mozzarella sticks.
That is
The best thing for air fryer is the only way to cook those,
and
or oil.
well, yeah, which is if you're doing actual oil in your house,
I'm doing more than mod sticks if I'm going out.
yeah, because a lot of times when we order food out, I don't get a mozzarella stick because you need them piping hot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like by the time the delivery guy gets there, but with the air fryer, it opened up a whole nother. Because we went to Arby's
It's not
last.
a good door to open.
It's not,
If you're-
especially for me. I should be opening more doors like that. But
You know what else? Have you guys air fried pierogies?
I don't know.
No,
I don't.
We usually do like wet pierogies. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Wet.
That's like
Boil
boiled
them.
with onions on it and sour
There's
cream and
other
stuff
ways
like.
to cook them.
No,
Yeah, I
I know, but
know.
we usually do like soft pierogies.
I like the
versus,
soft
like, a
pierogi over the
crisp.
kind of hard, crispy pierogi.
I'll tell you, like I was in the frozen food section, obviously, and I just wanted like 12 pierogies, and you have to buy like a family-sized pierogi.
You were in the wrong place because you can buy just 6 in a box. They're not in a bag.
Well, I didn't want 6. I wanted more than 6.
Well, then you buy two boxes.
Okay.
But pierogies is one of those things
They
that's
last forever.
that's not a bad thing. Because like even if it does get a little freezer burnt, you can still make a a pierogi.
Hey, Rachel, can you see the feed, the video feed? Is this microphone in front of my face completely?
Yeah, Steven's really, all of a sudden, after 17 episodes, he's going, I'm afraid people can't see my face.
No, it was seriously, like, I had it last episode, like, here.
Well, I think
I was sitting like this.
I think it was better before because now every time you talk, you have to go like this. And then sometimes
Cut.
it's quiet.
Never mind, restart. But if you don't see his face, he's like a okay-looking guy.
That's not why I was worried.
He's worried that they're not going to see him and that I'm shining and he's not because I got my new hat on today.
It is a cool hat.
I do like his pop-ups.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's Carhartt, you know, so I live in Pittsburgh, so I'm rough and tough.
Right. You have to work hard to fit in around here.
But what I was going to say with the pierogies, back to some food talk, what everyone tuned in for.
We were talking earlier about, what was your TikTok name?
A character we developed together wasn't shit. Oh,
My Edible Romance.
Yeah. Not My Chemical Romance. I'm gonna start dressing like the guy does in Black Parade with it's like a weird marching band with shoulder things on there. And since I only dress in t-shirts and gym shorts, it would be a really funny change where maybe I make a character and it'll be called My Edible Romance.
Yeah.
And I'll put on like a blonde wig, and then I'll just try and mimic him because he's all like skinny and strung out and like, you know, eye black. Or maybe he's just like so strung out his eyes are black around it, but just dancing with a microphone.
I thought it was gonna be like a TikTok channel where you would do almost like a Weird Al Yankovic thing, but you would like be eating a plate of pasta, but. Well, we'll have to figure it out.
Yeah,
but look forward to that.
There might be. That might be. You're right. Do a Weird Al Yankovic of My Edible Romance, and we'll just make sure we always have like. I'll eat right before the song starts, so then like I have some sauce on me, and yeah, we'll just change some words like not My Black Parade. We'll call it My Fat Parade, or
you'll just wear
My Full Plate.
That. You wear the emo clothing.
Mm-hmm. Paint my nails black.
You do the makeup. You use just the name My Edible Romance because it's catchy. People immediately connect to it, and then you just do like spoof of like quick parts of like songs, like the hooks of songs, but you make them food related. I'm telling you, people will watch that shit.
I really, if you Weird Al, a lot of his was just food related. Most of his shit was just fruit.
My bologna.
And then just eat it. And he wasn't fat, so I could be capitalizing way more than he does.
Just you in those outfits, like doing like spoof music
videos.
The
problem is we're going to have to start a GoFundMe account.
To get the clothing.
To get those custom made. Guys, if you want to see this, we'll have to start sending money our ways because it's going to cost a lot of money to custom make those for me.
See, even for an average person, those clothes are not going to be easy to get.
Yeah, and DXL does not sell My Chemical Romance clothes.
No, they don't.
Unfortunately. Well, no, fortunately, because that would piss me off. The nice thing about the fat community and DXL, when you go in there, they're not trying to get like top-notch fashion. Like, I don't even think they sell skinny jeans in there because fat people shouldn't wear skinny jeans.
No, I think the fat community has an unspoken kind of agreement.
And if you are out and about, and only a fat can do this, so like friends of the show, if you have a friend that's fat and he's wearing clothes he shouldn't be, tell me and I'll make a message for you to give to him because I've tried it. I've very little bit. I've dabbled in trying to be not fashionable, but keeping up with fads. And I have a good eye. And you're my brother, and I have friends that were like, "That's not your thing, man."
Now, if you don't learn at a certain age, you're just never gonna learn. But
stick to golf casual.
Well, here's the thing. Like, if you're over a certain size, it's not an option. But it's those tweener guys that can still buy like guys that wear a XXL. You can still get yourself into trouble.
And it also depends on body shape too. That has
obviously
a lot to it.
If you're 6'4", you can wear a XXL and look cool in it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, these clothes are not cut for round people.
Your inseam has to be longer than 32. Your inseam, I'll put it this way. Your inseam needs to be longer than your waistband to pull off any of those tapered pants and stuff like that. If not, it just makes you look
like your pants are falling off.
Yeah, and they don't.
And your whole ass is out.
Which I will say, I know tight pants have been,
cyclical.
Styles are cyclical. But when I was in like 8th to 10th grade, I was rocking tight jeans before they were cool because my jeans just didn't fit good.
You didn't have to wear hand-me-downs either.
No, I didn't. I was trying to get in sizes that I shouldn't have been trying to get into for like a mental state. So I'd force them on, and like after one wash, they were just kind of tight jeans. I mean, there was anyone who's over, and I think most people with jeans, when you put them on at first, you really got to like stretch them out.
Well, you're going back. This is when jeans were still like denim. They're not like that
that's
anymore.
true.
They're just stretchy, and this is a great thing for society. These new modern materials for pants.
That's why I went to I made this switch to khakis in like 8th grade because I learned they were thinner material, kind of. If you got the right ones,
sweat like a motherfucker though.
Yeah, well, you had to get the right
ass
ones.
like I did in a pair of khakis.
No, you had to get the right ones because there's khakis that are almost like just denim that are white. But I guess maybe it was just the development of materials. I was getting khakis that were they were stretchy material, and that's why I made the change to them. And then like 11th grade, I found golf clothes, and that's when they really started to make like the sweat wicking, stretchy material polos, and like the shorts that even have
little
that's
stretch to
nice because when you wear shorts that don't have any give, you stand up and you sit down, you're like, I'm so uncomfortable because you either got to pull them up way past your knees and look like you're trying to do something weird.
I mean, when I was a kid, and I was a fat kid too, we've been over that, we were able to just cuff our pants. So you could deal with the inseam issues because you would just put a big old cuff on the bottom.
And probably when you were definitely in middle school and then going into high school, cuffing was almost a style.
Yeah, it was. And then, I mean, eventually the Jenko jeans blew up, and that was a
God, I wish they were still around. That was cool as shit. I'd be rocking.
It was so much material.
If they got wet, you walked slower because
you would get a rash because they would be wet all day. But that's a whole nother thing. But I'll never forget in 8th grade, I think it was 7th or 8th grade, I tried to like, that's when preppy shit was cool.
Like Aeropastel was starting to come around.
And I was like pretty fat. Like, and I made, when we went school shopping, I only got stuff from American Eagle. Dude.
Oh. And Mom was like,
she would have just said yes.
Yeah, because she hated shopping, 1, and 2, she always battled weight and stuff, so she would never want to hit your ego at all. So if you were like, I want this, she would get it for you.
It was bad. I got made fun of by the cool kids.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
But then you started playing football, and they were like, don't fuck.
I never got picked on. I think they were like, I was never someone who got bullied because I was funny. Like, if you're funny, if you're fat,
you have to be funny.
You have to be funny. Otherwise, people are just going to make fun of your fat ass. But if you can make fun of them back, you just become friends.
And then also
amongst boys. Anyway.
And then also it helps. We both had the same experience of being overweight. Middle schoolers are so mean.
Yeah, middle school sucks for everybody.
So, but then also if you can be a little funny and then be like, the cool kids are like, yeah, I'm quarterback, I'm running back. Like, well, I'm going to be blocking for you.
Yeah, playing sports, you should. That helps too. But nevertheless, like, that was a good moment. See, middle school shapes a person, and it's a tough time. But there was some kids that checked me, and they were like...
Were they buddies?
No.
No?
No, it's dog eat dog in middle school. But that's okay.
Here's the thing, because I've had
They were like, you're a poser, dude.
Well, you were.
I was posing.
You're right. Because I always say that, like, bullying is, especially with the cyberbullying, luckily I wasn't... That was kind of past my generation, but I didn't, like... You could have considered me a bully, but it wasn't for anyone that were... Like, I only bullied my friends. It was just a circle of us just busting each other's balls.
Yeah.
It was never the random kid that we didn't know that was dorky
Yeah,
or
that's
poor or
because
something.
you had a sense of humor and you played sports and you were a normal person otherwise. You were just fat.
And I would...
Those people don't get bullied. It's the people who don't react well to being joshed and messed with. Unfortunately, if there's no one there to run interference, those are the kids who get victimized. And, dude, you can think back to those and you can remember the kids.
Yeah.
That just didn't fight back.
And a lot of them were, like, one kid I could
A lot
say...
of them were autistic, too, let's be honest.
Maybe, yeah, just not knowing what the spectrum was and stuff then. But a lot of time, like, the one kid I can say I bullied a little bit, it was because he was an asshole. And, like, he was heavy set, but no athletic ability in him. And he was in my homeroom because they did homerooms by last names. So from, like, 6th till 12th grade, his kid was my homeroom. And he was just a dick. So he would just come in, and before you could say anything to him, he would say it to you. So I would just be like, all right, well, then I'm going to make your life hell this morning.
What would he say to you?
He wouldn't attack me. He would, like, attack... This one girl was a little bit slutty in my high school. And he would come after her, and I'd go, you're just mad because no one's ever touched your dick besides you. And he had a last name that... I don't want to say it out there, but he had a really bad last name, so it rhymed with a lot of things that had to do with fat. So... And he was just a dickhead. So he would attack other ones, and I'd go, no, you don't get to do that in my homeroom. You're calling her a slut. You wish she would even look at you once in a while.
Sounds like you just bullied him. It doesn't really sound like
Nah, he spit in a girl's face at one point.
Okay.
He was justified. It was justifiable for that. Now with my friends, that was no holds bar. There was we none of us had there was no governor for any of us when we're making fun of each other. But that's because we're buddies and we're horse playing, we're wrestling.
Right. Yeah, amongst friends, I mean.
I will say the meanest thing I ever did, I think we were talking about this the other day, which is crazy. You had a friend do the same thing, but in like 8th grade, middle school, I took the cup of pudding, chocolate pudding, and just winged it behind my back. And it hit like the poor girl of our school. And, yeah, that's one of those ones I'll be in the shower and that memory comes in. I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah, I just want anybody who's watching this to know, like, I can imagine people that don't know you hearing you tell this stuff, they think, like, this guy's an asshole. He's a nice kid. He's too nice.
Yeah, I put myself out there too much a lot of times. These are formative years. The pudding thing was literally just... You won't do it, and
that wasn't even targeted.
No, I couldn't have hit her if I wanted to. I threw it over my back. It just happened to do that, and
pussy, I was eating that pudding.
They were good puddings.
Yeah, I love when they had pudding.
But it ended up working out because, like, even the principal was like, "I know you're not that type of kid," and then Mom ended up getting her a bunch of gift cards and stuff to get clothes. So it ended, and even through high school, we were still friends because she was super smart.
See, my friend who did it, he was trying to hit her.
That's mean.
Yeah, well, he was a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Frankie.
You know why? Because he was all skinny. He's like, life's pussy comes easy to me. I just fucking around.
He had a big-ass toucan nose. You used to call him Toucan.
Yeah.
Toucan Sam.
Dude, he used to he wanted to beat me up. Because you'd call him Toucan, and if he was in my house, I was like, you can't touch me, Toucan Sam.
Well, he was an asshole, so he deserved it.
He was That's the thing.
He was always an instigator.
I was never the instigator. That's important with the kid that I maybe bullied in my homeroom. I was never the instigator. I was half asleep in these in this homeroom, but enough where there was times I got the teacher to laugh a little bit. That was always my goal in high school. Is if I was gonna be fucking around, if I can get this teacher to laugh, that means class is gonna get interrupted and.
Yeah, they can't really get mad if you make them laugh.
I mean. You had a teacher you played butt darts with.
Yeah. Butt darts was anal sex, obviously, between two men.
Was that high school or middle school?
It was middle school. 8th grade, my math teacher and 3 of us students, he just overheard us talking about butt darts practice after school, like we were just playing around. And he couldn't contain how funny he thought that was. And we would, like, stay after class for a little bit and like pop in there early, and we would get the overhead projector, and draw like plays we were gonna do. And he would do it too, bro. Oh, I can't even remember his last name.
Dude.
That shit was so hysterical.
I wouldn't want to say his name because I had him. He wasn't my teacher. He was right next to me.
He was kind of a dick in class, but he thought this was so fucking funny.
Well, because wouldn't you use it like if you were late to class? You were like, dude, sorry, I was at
Yeah.
butt dog practice, and
like-
he'd laugh and be like, I can't even get mad. Sit down, come on.
Yeah.
That is.
But it became a thing. Like, we all look forward to that little 5-10 minute sesh of talking butt darts. And you got to think, like, we're like 14.
Yeah.
So we obviously, this is brilliant to us. But the fact that he, like, really got in there with us and talked butt darts hard.
That's good. You know, it sucks because nowadays that dude would be on the news if anyone ever heard that.
Yeah.
But that was something that that was like a core memory that you cherished. That you wanted to go to class so you could get through it and have
Talk BD.
just 5 minutes of.
We were talking about, like, oh, I fucking hurt my hammy playing butt darts yesterday.
I told you that traffic cone was too much, man.
But yeah, you couldn't even fuck around like that.
Oh God, no.
And it wasn't that long ago. It is crazy how different things are.
Which is, I mean, it's for the good, but also that's the type of thing where there was no foul play even whatsoever. This dude's comedy broke some lines. You said he was kind of an asshole of a teacher a little bit in class. You broke a barrier with this guy.
Yeah.
Talking about some BDs.
Yeah. You know what else is funny? We did presentations. I think it was that same year. We had to do these like end of year like projects, and we had to wear like formal clothing. And here I am, this fat kid, and I wore a black dress shirt, a black belt, and black slacks with black dress shoes because I didn't have anything else, right? And I got the idea in the morning to fold up a piece of white paper and tuck it in my collar. And he let me do it, dude. And like I went through the whole thing like that, and it turned out like not everybody knew it was a joke. Like this one girl thought that I was poor and had to borrow a uniform because it looked like adult clothing because I'm a fat kid.
I didn't think about it. I just thought because it'd be funny if someone doesn't know you, be like, is he like going in the priesthood or something?
That's my kind
and then to see you at recess making you big nosed pussy, and then be like, I think he's trying to be religious. Like,
for real.
So, yeah, because you were adult sized clothing at that point. They were like, I
like,
didn't know you can borrow a priest's clothes.
Yeah. So that's my kind of. I like to confuse people.
That's a good one there.
I mean, there were parents coming to look at.
So it wasn't just kids.
Yeah, they were walking down the halls looking at our displays and shit. And I was like, I don't give a fuck.
That's kind of on this day when I was senior project, like I couldn't even tell you what mine was. I did the most bare minimum. Like I remember this one kid built a guitar with his dad, and I was like, that's really cool. But I just was like, I'm gonna fucking graduate and be done with this. I didn't
think you had to do those.
No, I definitely had to. I do a presentation or whatever everything was, and
then
you
couldn't get you couldn't graduate or get a diploma
without it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they got rid of it probably like a year or two later.
Probably, yeah, because like it wasn't hard, but you're supposed to start. Like there's teachers. You'd have your English teacher be like, all right, guys, hey, just so you know, you should be at this point of your thing. Mm-hmm. Of course, I waited till like the week before, and they're the most bullshit thing I could. Yeah. And once again, I wasn't a troublemaker at all. And I knew who, like literally, there was like 2 gym teachers, the one science teacher I liked, and someone else who was like the board that you presented to. Mm-hmm. And they were like, all right, dude, okay. But while I showed up in a dress, now keep in mind, this is in the part of the building that didn't have air conditioning yet. Yeah, this is going into the summer months. That school was so hot, so I wore button-down tie, but I wore cargo shorts. And so I did the presentation. They're like, all right, that passes. But part of it is professionalism. So then they were like, all right, now you have to go to the library and write 5 paragraphs about professional clothing.
Really?
So then I had to go to the library and write this thing of like, I should have wore pants. And in the thing I was like, it's so hot, I don't understand why I can't wear shorts.
You had the tie.
I wore everything, everything else. And it's just funny thinking like, Mom let me, at that point, who knows, like, she probably didn't even know I had this project, but someone let me leave the house looking like just a goober.
Well, fuck it.
To be like, I got to go do
You
the thing that helps me
graduated.
Yeah.
I was a train wreck my senior year. That point of the year, I was like 400 pounds fat then. And we had to go after the year, after like the school year had ended. We had to go like right during summer camp. Like right before summer camp, you had to have it done to get your diploma. Talk about football summer camp for everybody.
Maybe actually, you know what?
It was like July when I had to do it.
Mine might have been that too. I forget. No, because it was before graduation for us. But
anyway,
regardless,
I did my presentation was like about Saturday Night Live, and maybe it was about skit comedy, but it was like you said last week, so it was not good. And I was having a panic attack, dude, like, because I knew it wasn't good.
What was it was a combination of, because you're not a big public speaker fan, yeah, especially then. You were pretty...
Oh, I was bad then. I was fucked up.
You were like... You didn't like public at all
at
that point.
No. And I
so you had to go
to graduate, and I went in there, and I only passed because they were like...
Yeah,
what
this kid...
happened to him?
Yeah, oh. Damn.
So, yeah, it's a little... Yeah.
You went, yeah. Well, I might have, I was, at that point, I was never as heavy as you were in high school.
Not even close.
But I also played lacrosse, so, like, when football ended for you, you were like, I'm not going, like, you didn't want to play in college. You knew that, like, right away.
I didn't want to do anything.
Yeah, but, so I had to, like, stay in shape for lacrosse season in the spring.
Yeah.
So I still had to kind of, like, and then also I was doing, like, laughing stock and stuff, so I could have easily just fallen off and just gotten high every day as soon as school ended, but I had to like keep doing shit.
Yeah, I pretty much just played EverQuest.
If only Twitch was live back then.
Oh my god!
If
dude.
Twitch was around back then, dude, EverQuest would have been one of those games because it's so hard.
And you could Twitch all day because you had to play all day to get everything
You
done.
had to. I mean, I played my same character for 2, maybe 3 years, whenever I could get a chance, because
I was hogging.
you were hogging it until you got, that computer you built or whatever you gave to me. But I only got my the original Ugoon.
Yeah.
Ugoon, Erudite Paladin, got him to level 39, and the max level at that point I think was 65.
Because that's a game you could spend your whole day going backward in experience if you lost your corpse.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to anybody who played EverQuest back in like 2000.
Well, and it's funny too because I'll say that, and then people would be like, "Well, I played RuneScape." I was like, "No. You don't understand. If you died, you might cry, and everything you worked for could be gone forever, unless you got lucky and someone's like, I can res your body," and then. It's funny, that game I used to, it was so hard, I would go into the Common Lands, or the Bazaar, was it the Bazaar?
It depends what era you play.
Yeah, whatever it was, and I would go in there and beg for gold. Like, I was like a homeless person in EverQuest. I'd go in there and just shout, I need platinum, please, and some people would come over and be like, all right, buddy, here's some platinum and some gold.
Well, I think they respected the fact, and we're getting deep into the role-playing world here, but because you were an erudite, which is mainly intelligence caster race, paladin.
Yeah.
They were like, that's cool.
Yeah, it's funny too. Of course, I picked the only black character in the game.
Well, there was also like lizard.
Yeah.
What were they called?
Dude, you remember? Which this is something everyone can laugh at. You made a character because you just make characters. Sometimes you just make characters for fun, and you made an ogre, which ogres in those games were like gross ass things, and you named him Grundle, and that was when I learned what a Grundle was.
I thought that was so funny.
I was, and you literally had to go, dude, stop yelling grunt. We were in the basement. I was cry laughing. You're like, dude, mom's gonna come down here and start asking what Grundle is. And I just thought it was so funny that you named a character after a taint. I was like, that was probably in the time where I went to school, and I was like, you don't even know what a Grundle is.
Oh yeah, you had a nice little
Because I had the older brother, and I was like, yeah, dude, my Grundle's been itching. And people were like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't tell you. Only the cool guys get to know.
You're not old enough. Well, I'll do you one better. In 11th grade in English class, we had to write a poem. And I wrote a poem that the teacher, like, they were short poems, so the teacher would read all of them out loud to the class. And my poem was, I looked at the grundle got mad. I fondled the grundle was glad. So you can imagine. So you're not paying attention.
I'm listening.
Fuck it, cut. Let's take intermission.
You know what? This is this kid just trying to get his poetry off the ground.
Yeah, right. But you can imagine that was a big hit amongst.
Because the teacher didn't know, but the kids knew.
I think she figured it out once everyone started laughing. Because I had, like, other football players in the class and shit. I did it for them.
I was doing it for the fans.
Yeah.
And you know what? Honestly, if you're an English teacher, at least he tried.
No, I didn't. No,
but hey, at least you did the assignment.
I did the assignment.
And two, hey, there's serious poetry out there. There's funny poetry out there.
Shel Silverstein.
Yeah. So.
And hey, and it rolled off the tongue, and it was coherent, right? Some of these poems are totally fucking incoherent. You have no idea what
jazz, fucking. I came, and it's like you just went in a dictionary and started scribbling up words.
And it's crazy because poetry had its time for a long time, and it seems when like overnight.
That was when there was nothing, though.
I think when popular music became a thing, people were like, "Wow, this is way better than poems."
Well,
but we shouldn't, because we're Irish, and the Irish are the best poets.
Shit sucks for us. We didn't have good food.
We couldn't even grow potatoes.
We couldn't even. That's funny. Speaking of poetry, I had a buddy, Andy Lynch. Hope you're doing good out there. I think he is. Really good buddy of mine all through school. But in middle school, I remember we had this one teacher who she was super sweet, and was trying to get the kids into poetry. And in 7th grade, 8th grade, or whatever it was, you're just not going to get, especially someone like me. This is only going to be an
she's trying to get one if she can.
Yeah, exactly. If she gets one, she's going to get. And I remember popcorn reading or whatever. Andy read this piece of poetry, and she goes, "Andy, you're really good at reading poetry. I think you should get into this." And I remember he looked at me, made eye contact, and I was like, "You're never living this down." Andy likes poetry. It was just but like, God forbid he's good at reading out loud. And I was just like, gay for the next 6 years.
He had a calling, and you shit on it, and he never found his calling.
Yeah, the
teacher was probably really... Inside, she was upset, because if you're a teacher, you care about stuff, and she liked poetry, and she just wanted someone to appreciate it, and you were just like, fag.
I think I was good enough. I can't remember, but I was good enough where I didn't say it right away. But she said that to him, and then he felt the heat on me and just scanned over and seen me just like.
The look was all it took.
But no, because once again, like I said, I wasn't a troublemaker, but that was one of the teachers that I was able to kind of play around with, because
I'm sure she would have laughed if you said that, because it is funny.
It was, and especially English in 7th grade, like you're not teaching the classics, so
I liken it to like if you are newly dating a girl, and you finally decide to make the step to introduce her to some of your favorite music. And she's like, "Oh yeah, that's good," and you could tell she doesn't like it at all or give a shit. She wanted someone to like poems, and Andy was this close.
This close, and it's
so good work by you.
Yeah, I saved him because he ended up being an awesome athlete, so I might have saved him from going down the artsy road. So you're welcome.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, with this
But that was one of the times too, going along. I wasn't an asshole.
Now you're defending it too much.
Well, I was able to make fun of myself with her. Like I remember the one back and forth. I was using "well" and "good" the wrong way. So I was like, "I'm doing well." She's like, "You mean you're doing good?" Like back and forth. So the classroom was laughing, and every time I tried to guess it, it was wrong. Of just the back and forth. So it was kind of the like, "Ha ha, I'm dumb." Okay. This is good for everybody.
He's not an asshole.
Could you please? Going back to the English thing, it's funny. We're talking a lot of English class.
We're talking poetry. We're talking Kevin Smith's stupid face.
Dude, do you remember? And I know you do. When I had, that would have been in 7th grade because that was when PSSAs just started.
Is it standardized testing?
The standardized testing, which
Right.
I was lucky. I was the last. When I was a senior, that was the year that every year, 7th through 12th grade, had to do PSSAs.
Yeah, I remember.
When I did it, it was only like 7th, 9th, and 11th or something like that.
Yeah.
Which, if you don't know, the standardized testing is how school, like the government determines how good your school is, and that's how they get their funding. So, like, if students do good on their PSSAs, that school gets more money from the government.
Which is like the opposite of how it kind of should be.
Yeah, because you know,
If the shit schools need help, they should get more funding.
and like for us, like, you know, 11th grade, you'd go in the English class, and the math teacher was there, and he's like, "We're gonna study the Pythagorean theorem again because we know this is coming up." Because the teachers are incentivized to be like, the school needs more money, so we can make more money.
Yeah.
Which is, you're right, it is kind of backwards. But on that, 7th grade, it was like the big. I think you had multiple weeks to work on this. You had to write about.
I'm just trying to think. If you're in 7th grade,
You're graduated. You're a year out
of high school.
A year out of high school.
Okay.
ITT Tech.
Or wherever. Penco Tech.
Penco
Don't
Tech.
give them fucking any. No. Don't go to those schools unless you're going to learn how to weld or something.
Anti shout out.
Yeah.
Anti shout out. But no, so you had to do a story of something you do well. And I think you had to write about it in first person or something.
You did.
I did. This was, yeah, for me. So, and this was in the time era where, like, you could handwrite it or do it on the computer. We had a computer early on because you just wanted one or whatever. So anyway, I'm doing this probably last minute.
Definitely last minute.
Because that's how I do everything. I don't know if I asked for your help or maybe you were just bored and recognized. I was like, Steven, stop playing EverQuest. I actually need the computer. I have to do this. So I just, us being dumb, I think right off the bat you started helping. We were like, let's talk about making sandwiches. I'm really good at making sandwiches was going to be the whole, 3-page.
It met the rubric.
It met the root, yeah. And like other people did similar things, but
you got to think, if I'm 19 and you're in 7th grade, I'm thinking like, dude, you're gonna ace this.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah,
let's get this done real quick.
So yeah, you pretty much that's probably what it was. You're like, I need to get you. You have to get off the computer, man, because I need to go play some EQ. But so you end up basically writing the whole thing. I might have wrote a little bit, but you stepped in, and you were a good student, and especially
in English, I was really good.
I was good with math. You were always good with like English, and that was kind of the divider. You end up writing this thing, and I got an A+ on it because a 19-year-old's writing a 7th grade paper.
Right.
And it's well done. And the one specific thing was our specialty sandwich was called the Cleveland Steamer.
Yes.
So this is good. This is a good.
This is similar to the Grundle poem.
This is a good indicator of like, you're like, dude, you're not gonna get in trouble. We can slip some things through, and you thought it was funny as shit. And I was like, yeah, dude, do my paper, cool. So I ended up turning this paper in, and 7th grade, it's a short story.
Yeah, I think it was like 5 paragraphs. It was like your typical short paper.
Yeah, and in 7th grade, that's a lot, so I'm overwhelmed. You're like, I got this for you, dude.
Yeah, you got your intro, your body, and your conclusion.
Overview, yeah, conclusion. But yeah, so it all concluded to my specialty sandwich is the Cleveland Steamer, which for those who don't know, the Urban Dictionary term of a Cleveland steamer is someone shitting on your chest.
Yes.
And so this got through my teacher. She didn't catch it, and I got an A+. She goes, and this is funny that they no red flags because I went from doing C work to all of a sudden I had this awesome paper.
Some banger.
And then a couple weeks later, after turning this paper in, not even thinking about it, I get called down to the principal's office. And I'm like, and then like, did you write this? Like, he shows me the papers, like, did you write this? And I said, yeah. And I'm thinking they're about to be like, we know you didn't write this. You're in
we
trouble.
know what a Cleveland Steamer
Yeah.
is.
I'm nervous as shit. And once again, I didn't go to the principal's office a lot. So I'm nervous. And all of a sudden, I forget if they had to call mom or something. They were giving me an award. They said, this is so well done. We're going to turn this into the state. That paper ended up being put on the PSSAs.
Yeah.
Now, they edited it. Like, I basically, like, the paperwork I had to sign was saying, like, I wrote this. And so this was...
You signed over your publishing rights.
I signed over my publishing rights, and they edited it. And I never seen it, but... And I don't know anyone who ever, like, read it. Because in those PSAs, you'd read a story and then have to, like, do a conclusion.
Maybe 3 years later, some student had that in their test.
I would, dude, I fucking hope. I wish I could track down someone who had to read that paper about making sandwiches. Because, first of all, if you're reading this story in PSAs and it's about making sandwiches, that's funny. And if Cleveland Steamer got to stay in there, that is the funniest.
Somebody had to catch that. Although, they might, it probably just was like, it had enough contents well distributed where they could make questions about reading comprehension to put it in the test. You know what I mean?
Because it was an A+ paper for 7th graders. So, like, you're right, 3 years later, this is something that a 7th grader wrote that was high end. So, like, we know that it's like, if you can read this, like, it's for your age group. And who knows, it might have never been used, but, dude, to this day, I still go, like, dude, I plagiarized a paper, and it was so good that it got put into the PSSAs, and I really hope, if anyone out there ever gets this and you read a story about in the PSSAs in like 7th, 8th grade about making sandwiches, please let us know. I'll send you something. And
I should write a children's book.
It's funny too, because going into it, as soon as he's seen that, like, I went to criminal mode and I go, I'm going to deny. We actually make a sandwich called a Cleveland Steamer, and we don't know what the real meaning is.
It reminds me of the probably you were around the same age when I got you the rusty trombone sweatshirt for Christmas.
Oh, dude, I was so yeah. It was a sweet hoodie. Like, it wasn't cheap.
The rusty trombone is when you eat someone's ass while you jerk them off from the front.
So if you think about a trombone, like, so rusty would be the poop. So Steven got me a hoodie that was sweet. I was so excited to I actually, you know what? No, that never got caught. I rocked that hoodie for like 2 years until I outgrew it. And it was the rusty trombone truck stop or something. Like, it was like something that, like, could have been like a restaurant on the side of a road. That, and also, first of all, before I start this, printer companies, can you fucking make it easier to link up printers to computers?
Yeah. It's still not always easy.
When we were home doing mom's paperwork, dude, fucking me, you, and Rachel's on Zoom, we're trying to figure out how to get this fucking printer working. It was such a pain in the ass.
You know what the thing that makes it hard is? Tech Talk, new segment. All these printer companies want to have their own driver software. So instead of having some simple universal, like a printer is a basic input-output device, no, they ought to have their own software, and then it's got to be updated. Anyway.
And they don't even make it where, like, just plug your computer. Like, give me a plug that goes from my computer to the printer. And it's like, no, both have to get onto the Wi-Fi, and then you have to get this driver. We're not going to really tell you where to get the drive. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, but anyway, a lot of times when people were handwriting things, I would type them up. I've never been a great speller because we've always had a computer. So when I would do papers, I would do it on the computer. So it would catch grammar errors and, like, fuck with sentences and stuff. So a lot of times I'd write it, and at that point you're out of school. So I'd be like, Steven, I need you to print this out for me, because it's always a fucking hassle to print something. You found it really funny.
I was going to mention that.
You found it really funny, because I would never double read. I'm like, he printed it out for me. It's good to go. Just, 2 paragraphs in, you would just put poop, the word poop, randomly into it. And fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I had 5, 6, 7 times where teachers would be like, Gene, can you come here? And as soon as I see, because he would bold it. Like, he would make it all capitals. And they'd go, and I go, that's
my brother.
My brother has to print this stuff out. And every teacher was like, I never got in trouble. They were like, Actually, the one teacher was like, "That's kind of funny."
It's funny.
They had to be serious and be like, "Just double check next time." And I'm like, "But everything else is good." And they're like, "Yeah, but I have to scratch this out for
Yeah.
you."
Yeah, I was gonna mention that. That was fun. That's what's good about having a kid brother that's like 6 years younger than you, is there's like this trust, which you shouldn't. You should have known I was probably gonna do something like that.
Fool me once, right? That's what I was saying.
But you never got in trouble, so it was just good fun.
Well, no, yeah, it was like, it
And
would
that
be
was
different
one of
if
the-
you put like, a curse word in there or something like,
Yeah.
Nazi
it was
propaganda. You could have really fucked me over because, I would just wake up and the paper would be on the table that you printed out for me. I'd shove it in my book bag and just be like, here, I actually did the assignment.
It would be funny if I changed the title of one of your things to Mein Kampf, though.
And I would, it's funny because I'd be like, that's probably a really good word. I think he's trying to help me out. And I would have turned it in. And the teacher would be, our whole family would have had to go to counseling.
Yeah, right.
And I'd be like, I thought it said mind conference. I don't.
It also would help too that we went to all the same schools, so they
True.
knew me.
And throughout it too, we both played football, and a lot of those teachers were in all the schools we went to. So
Yeah.
like, we always kind of had backing of like, we would be dumb doing things, but it was like they're having fun.
They're having
boys
fun.
are being boys.
Yeah.
Is what it came
Yeah.
down to.
That would make my day when I would do that. When I
Which-
would sneak poop into one of your essays.
The first one, I got terrified. By the third time, I was when a teacher. It's funny because I'm half asleep, not a good morning prayer. Turn it in and be like, Gene, at the end of the class, be like, come here, and I'd be walking to, I'd be like, there's probably poop in that essay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all school stories are fun because that was an innocent time. Our household always had some craziness going on, but in old, like you said, old Irish fashion, we would just shove it under the carpet.
Right.
So like something crazy would happen 3 days later, we'd be like, back to normal.
Yeah. There's not much to talk about. We all saw what happened, whatever it was.
Yeah, but that sucked, huh? But we making meatloaf tomorrow because I want some of them Sammys
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Can
I have $20, Mom?
Yeah. Oh, dude, I remember in high school when I used. This isn't something I'm not proud of, but in science class, no matter what the object was, if you broke it, any of the beakers, it was $20 flat, and you just get this little form, and you take it home, and
Damn, really? The school charged you for breaking something?
it was up to the teacher's discretion. Well, one time I honestly I broke something, and she said like next time it happened, she showed me the piece of paper, and then I go, I can make copies of those.
No.
And then so I made a couple copies of those, and then like I didn't do it all the time, but like 5-6 times, like, Mom, I broke something. I need to give her the piece of paperwork. I need you to sign this and give me $20.
You devil. She would have given you $20 if you just asked for it properly.
Well, here's the thing. I wouldn't double dip because I wouldn't ask for $20 that weekend. Because every weekend I'd be like, if I'm going out, Mom, we're going to the movies, she'd give me $20. Yeah, you're right. I don't know why I did it, but it almost made me feel better. I'm like, this isn't me asking. Yeah, I guess I felt better. I was like tricking my mom and like, it's for school, I swear.
Instead of weed.
I'm not gonna split a gram with somebody and sneak into the movies and buy popcorn with the other $10.
Right. Or get a couple, an extra pretzel with nacho cheese.
Oh no! Actually, the move was because the mall's right next to the movie theater. Go to the dollar store, line your pockets because movie theater shit's so expensive. So it's like $10 in a dollar store. I can ball out with
Dude,
snacks.
$10 at a movie theater.
Get you a small popcorn if you're
that
lucky.
Popcorn is
It's that is that another English thing. Do you remember River of Jeans?
I do. I still have it.
Yeah, we saved it when we were cleaning the house out.
Yeah. It's a hardcover book.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. So this was a year-long project. I
What
forget.
grade was this?
This might have been like 10th. No, this was older. This was like 10th or 11th grade. And it's funny looking back because this went to
It's
show that
so absurd.
this teacher didn't give a shit.
Yeah, it's so.
Because so it was a year-long thing. So like every month you'd study like a new type of poetry.
Like a haiku.
Oh yeah, I couldn't even think of it. What type of poetry?
Right.
But so you'd do it, and then you'd put it in like this softback thing, save it, and at the end of the year, the teacher would collect it and turn it into a hardback. Which, if you tried, that would be something that was cool. That later on,
later in life.
But for me, I was like, I don't know. My name's Gene, so genius. Energy's low. You know, I just would bullshit everything.
You had to do the acronym poem with the
The most. Least thing I could possibly do.
And remember, the best you had to illustrate it as well.
Yes. So I don't know if at first you started to do it, but towards the end, I think like you kind of got into it. Did you write any of the poems for it, or did you just do the cover?
I definitely helped with some of it, but
because like the poems are bullshit. But then once again, remember, you turned it in, and the teacher took it to like a company and would make a hardback out of it. And the funny part of it is you had to come up with a title, so you couldn't come up with a title. That was the last thing you did. And I was probably just going to call it like Gene's Book of Poems, but you took it and you're like, no, we have to do something. And it's funny the contrast is a decently drawn river with blue jeans flowing down.
Yeah, the River of Jeans.
And we called it the River of Jeans.
Play on your name.
Yeah, and we spelled it Jean, which isn't how I spell my name. So it's just funny to look at like.
And I remember vividly that there's like a guy on the cover with tears. Coming out of his eye.
Yeah, so the river was made by someone crying this river.
It was basically just making fun of poetry.
Yeah, we just. And dude, I think I ended up getting a high. I mean, if you just participated.
I'm going to let's see if I can find that and bust it out.
That is something, you know what? If someone comments, here, I'll give you a challenge. If you comment and say, I want to see what River of Jeans looks like, we'll send you pictures just to see if we can get our fans engaged a little bit. So if you listen to this long, if you comment something about River of Jeans, we'll take some pictures of that book because we have it somewhere. And dude, I have
one of a kind publication.
And shit's misspelled. It's funny because the cover. It seems like we tried so hard, and then the poetry is just shit.
Yeah.
It's not even poetry.
And either of us have a lick of artistic talent.
No, when it comes to that type of thing.
Any type of illustrating, any type of...
Yeah.
We don't have the patience.
That's what, people say you can learn drawing.
I admire people who have the patience to really try. Even though I don't think that even if I really tried hard, it would be good. It's so much more fun just to make it absurdly terrible.
Well, and every time I've tried, everything comes out cartoony. And I think that's just the way my mind works. I always have to make it either super big or super small. I can't be realistic. I just have to be... It's just where
I can't take it serious.
It's always because I can't take myself serious. Like we were talking about sex the other podcast. Like I can't get into that serious mode. Yeah. It just makes me giggle the whole time.
Now, I was for a while. Anything I would draw, it would just I'd put wheels on it.
Oh, dude, the notepad, bro. When we were
we'll
cleaning,
send you a few pages of the notepads if we could find.
So
them.
you were what was that? Print class
shop in like 11th grade.
Oh, dude, it's impossible to explain, but it's. I guess one of your projects was to make a notepad.
Yeah.
That you can write on, but like with a small background.
Right. You would do like it would have like text at the top and like a picture at the bottom, and so I had a friend Kyle who had a lisp, and the title of these were like you would get like seriously like 1,000 pages of one copy, tons of them. So this was the yellow.
It's crazy that they made that because that's not cheap to do that, like that printing.
And they were like bound, so you would like anyway.
It makes it funny too that these teachers would spend or the school would spend money on this shit, and you just were like, I'm gonna be goofy as I possibly can to do it.
So the yellow ones were Kyle's. That was my friend's name. Noth, spelled Noths.
Kyle's Noth.
Kyle's Noth. He didn't think it was that funny. So I had like 1,000 of those, and the other one was, these were the blue ones. Were I Heart Matchbox.
Those were the ones we found. Which so what it is? The image is like cartoon stock image of a buffalo with just wheels superimposed on it to make a buffalo look like a car. And then at the bottom, it was I, and it was the sideways
It's
V
the
with
less
a
than
3.
sign with a 3.
And then cars, so it was just I heart cars. And it's funny because we're going, like, when our mom and I were going through paperwork, and you're seeing, like, serious notes, my mom, like, jotting down shit for bills on I heart cars paperwork.
I mean, we weren't the kind of family who had proper stationery.
We never
laying
ever
around.
have stationery or pens around. So these things,
I was
you
just
know,
helping, bringing those home.
and it's funny too, because to think of, like, when mom was getting her serious, she probably didn't even realize.
It never phased. No one ever said, like, what the fuck does this mean?
Because it was perfect, because it had that, like, it wasn't a perfect image, it was like
No,
faded.
it was made so you could write on
right
top
on top of it. So you'd come across something and it'd be
Yeah.
like someone's phone number with their, you know, when the funeral was going to be and shit like that, and then behind it is
Right.
I heart cars.
like a grocery list, whatever.
That's, dude,
Yeah.
that's...
The teachers, I'll tell you, the shop teachers were always, like, the coolest teachers.
Well, and here's the thing. If you're a teacher, like, we grew up in an area, most of our school, like, 80% of the kids, and even 90% of the kids were good, like, just, you know, they would show up, nothing crazy, too crazy of broken homes, but we did have this, we were close enough to Philly where we had some, like, Title VIII housing where there was troublesome kids.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, a lot of times, I didn't figure this out kind of until I graduated. I was like, I had teachers that would just let me sleep because I'm not making a problem. I would show up, I would turn in most of the homework, I would do most of my test. Like,
Right.
they realized, they're like, I'm not going to get an A because I'm asserting myself a lot, but it's also because I have other things going on. Like, I'm playing sports, I'm doing stuff, but we had kids that were, like, you know, not showing up to school. You know, there's, like, a small population of, like, their parents might be in jail and shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, you know, like, if a teacher even recognized that this kid is completely making this a joke, at least he's doing it.
I learned how to use the print screen
Yeah,
and make notepads. That
I
was the
taught you
assignment.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. And at least we're enthused. We're having fun with it. We're laughing and having
That's
a
what
good
you'd
time
have to
with
think. Yeah, if I was a teacher, I'd be like, listen, even if you're joking about this, if you're doing it, if you're enjoying something, you're going to learn it
What
more.
would you expect a 17-year-old to do with these notepads? Like, make a gift for your mom? Like, you're a weirdo if you do that.
Yeah, that's...
Like, you're too old.
I put my mom's face on it and says, I love you forever.
If you're an adult and you're teaching that to high school, it was all boys in these classes. Maybe
Oh,
like the
yeah.
one lesbian girl.
Who that was the girl who took it serious.
Yeah, like that's if you're the teacher, you're like, you expect them to have fun with it.
Yeah, just because I remember taking.
There always is one or two who are like, quit
Well-
messing around, man.
Well, I remember I was actually pretty good at clay. I got, like, you know, in school, there's, like, art shows, and then, like, certain pieces would get picked for, like, state. I actually had one thing that made it to, I forget what it was, but they were like, it's a coin holder, but I did a cool shape on it, put a cool face on it. I really liked fucking with clay. But everything else, when it came to drawing, you know, art in 9th grade is just like, stop fucking around and do the assignment.
Isn't that like the last year you have to take it?
Yeah, you have to take it.
Yeah.
And
Because I stopped taking art immediately when I could.
I wasn't good at stuff, but I begged and begged this teacher. There's a bunch of cabinets, and, like, she always lets one student a year paint one of the cabinets. I begged her, and she let me finally. And I did I just wore her down because I was not the best artist by any means. She would just actually was pretty cool. You would go in there and whatever your assignment, like, she would teach you new technique and be like, okay, guys, in a month we have to turn in this assignment, and then she would just put on Finding Nemo, the movie, and which actually, like, because she was like, this is like crazy art here. These are just our artists that made a movie. So it was kind of like, it's the first
Got
time
your wheels turning a little.
I was like, oh shit, like, artists actually can do something a little bit.
Right.
But that was the year I made that sweet thing, but I broke her down. I was like, I don't care if no one ever sees, let me paint a cabinet. And I did the cat clock. You know, like in cartoons,
Yeah.
The Simpsons had one with the big eyes and the tail would swing. And she was like, okay. And I did it really good, but right at the end of it, I made the clock say 4:20. And she didn't catch it. She just let it go. Or But what I was gonna say is like, it's one of the things like she was cool with people kind of being like dumb and goofy and like art is art, but everything she was like, I know what a bowl is. I know, because like for ceramic, she'd be like, because I was like, I'm gonna make a spoon that I can also drink out of. She was like, I know what you're doing. You're the 100th person that's tried this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, it's so when I eat cereal, I can slurp.
And the thing is, like, if you look at it from her perspective, like, you thought that was so funny, and she was probably like,
yeah, you're the 100th kid.
Yeah, good one, dude.
Say this. Yeah, and I was like, no, but like you can do this.
I also have to give art teachers a lot of credit because I imagine most of them wanted to be actual artists. Like, remember our elementary school art teacher, Mr.
Rinker.
Mr. Rinker? He was like a bully. When he would get mad, he would like yell at us, and we're talking like 2nd, 3rd grade.
Elementary, and but he would be super cool. But then, I mean, he is dealing with elementary school kids.
I know, but
so then when he would snap, it was scary.
Yeah, and I just always imagine like those guys. He wanted to be an artist.
And he actually, because I remember having every Halloween, he had this sweet ass helmet that he made that was a big cyclops, and it was really fucking cool.
That's the cool thing when you're an art teacher in like elementary school. You can just stick your pieces in there and get them exposure.
This is my museum.
Yeah.
You see this, guys? If you work real hard, you can make this.
Is that when you would do the what do you call it when you use that?
Paper mache?
Is that what it's called?
With newspaper and like the glue thing?
Yeah. I thought it was called something fancier than that.
Right, well, Rachel, you got a little bit of art in you. Is that paper mache?
Where you wet them.
Yeah, you put newspaper basically in glue.
And what's it called?
It's like water.
Mod Podge.
Yeah, I didn't know that
he
one.
He just strips the newspaper that are all gunky.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like a big vat of
semen.
and
then it hardens up.
Yeah.
Like semen.
Yeah.
That's a good time. You know what? That's a good fucking flash down memory lane there.
Yeah. School was fun.
It's funny too. Cause
think of all the stuff that we had fun doing in high school and middle school. Like, if you had to try to have fun like that at a job, you would be fucking out of there so fast. Even though you're bringing up everybody's spirits.
And this, you know, and who knows, we you know, I don't have many friends that were like in inner city. But I hear like shit sucked there because it was like almost like the college.
It was like dangerous.
Of like, yeah, I don't care. I got by socially. I've only ever had one teacher that I didn't really like, and it was because I've literally had a math teacher. I had her 3 years in a row that I just knew how to get her, and I was like, I don't feel like doing math today, and I can go in there and just get her off her subjects, and then before she knows it, she's like, I didn't even take attendance, and the fucking bell is ringing.
You're a little tyrant.
Well, everyone in the class was pretty excited about it, except for the one dork.
Yeah.
I brought my homework, Carl.
And you know what? That Carl kid ends up being your fucking supervisor.
That or like
and he
a
doesn't
junkie
like
or something.
Joking around. He doesn't like to have
Yeah.
employees having fun. You're not allowed to have fun.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Those are the guys that rise to the top. Except I'm saying like, not the big wigs because they like to have fun too.
But
the middle management guys.
That's the big wigs
tryhards.
are the ones who had fun in school, but they
their
came
parents-
from money.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, let's just hire the nerds to do the real work, and that'll separate us from the guys who didn't have money that like to have fun.
Right.
So then you start a podcast and hope that really kicks off.
Right.
So you can just have fun with the boys.
Right. That's all. That I mean, if the podcast wasn't called UBI, it'd be called Having Fun with the Boys.
Having fun. Yeah.
But then we wouldn't have a producer.
True. Well, Rachel likes to have fun with the boys.
True.
And it's funny because I was listening to a podcast the other day. They were saying, and I kind of agree. I definitely agree with a man who his only friends is his wife's or girlfriend's friends. Can't trust that guy.
No.
Weird. That's a
Yeah, because you want your wife or girlfriend to have friends so that she'll leave you alone once in a while.
Well, not only that, but like, why are you really interested in her? You know, what are they doing?
I can't really wrap my mind around that.
But they also said, what about vice versa? A woman who her only friends is like the husband's friends. It's definitely a better scenario.
It depends how it turns out.
Yeah. And that's not an attack on you, Rachel, because you were friends with these guys before we were ever dating.
That's what I was gonna say.
No, true. Yes. But also, and you're trying to make
a gay friend.
not a gay. Well, yes, that, but
I
also she's trying. You know, it's hard to make friends after a certain time.
It's really hard to make girlfriends out there.
It's really hard to make friends. Period.
Friends in general.
Like
That's why Steven just sits in his apartment alone and plays with himself.
well, isn't that what everybody's doing? Isn't that why I upgraded my phone? I'm just trying to fit in with the people.
You know what? But yeah, oh, you should come bowling though.
I will come.
I know
bowling.
it's a drinking thing.
No, I'm fine.
Well, yeah, but it does, because Rachel says all the time. She's like, I don't want to hang out with if she's not drinking. She's like, I don't want to hang out with people that are drinking because it is obnoxious.
It can be.
Mm-hmm.
But if I mean,
There's a lot of older people there though, and I feel like it's a little bit different now. It used to be just party time USA.
I also have been sober a lot longer than last time I was there.
True. And you hate the lanes, but that's the thing. Like, everybody hates the lanes there.
Right. Plus, it's not a commitment this time where I have to go I can just go.
True.
And if I don't have to go every time.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was, sometimes I just didn't feel bowling.
Well, that happens with me, too.
Because the lanes, too, were pissing me off every time.
Yeah, and because everyone there, they're like, well, anywhere else I bowl, I have a 30-point average higher.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is different natural wood, but
we'll do another episode about bowling.
No, what I was going to say, and I didn't realize that Rachel, and we don't know her situation. She could maybe be a lesbian, but you might fall in love with the bartender. You like short hair.
Oh yeah.
I do like short hair.
And
Wow.
Leah is very fit.
Okay.
And
Smart.
yeah, she's going back to school. She just basically I don't think I've ever, even outside of bowling, like she went to the 4th of July party, I don't think she drinks much.
She doesn't really drink. It makes her feel sick.
Yeah, she just smokes, but she has very short hair. She does, I don't even know how to explain it, but
Is she pretty?
yeah, she's very attractive. Very,
Now I'm nervous to go bowling.
And once again, she could be a lesbian.
Why? Because of short hair, because of other things?
Because of other things, actually.
Okay.
No, and she's made comments like, I'm not looking for, well, it's hard to get into, but it'd be funny to see, but because she gets like, that bowling alley and that bar there,
Yeah. Yes.
all sorts of trash people are like, Leah, I love you.
Yeah, it might just be a protection.
Yeah, I could totally see someone doing that, but we'll see, because I really like short hair. So
and she's one of the, because very few girls I think look good with like, and I'm not saying like short, like she has.
Yeah, I like that.
Like and it looks good on her, and also she's just
cool.
Yeah, she's nice. I mean, she's a bartender at that type of place, so like she's got a.
It would be ironic if I ended up with a bartender.
Hey.
But that's not her end goal. So she's
No, yeah,
not
she's
just a lifer bartender.
She's going back to school. She wants to get into real estate eventually.
Everybody wants to get into real estate.
I think that's what she said. But yeah, she's been taking full college credits.
Well, you don't have to sell it to me. I haven't even seen her yet. But this is two promising leads, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Shout out to Leah if she's listening.
Hi, Leah.
And Leah's cool because also she hooks it up. She knows the boy can put down some fluids, so she's heavy-handed with me.
I imagine the people she deals with there, a lot of times, you guys are like, thank God.
Yeah, that, because it's like one or two. It's either...
This place, to me, when I think of it, is like a VFW.
It almost
bowling.
is.
It's like all these fucking
kind
cripples.
of, because it's fun. Like, she gets like super cheap people that'll tip like literally $1 on like a bucket of beer.
People tip, man.
You got to tip. Work in the service industry for 1 week, and then you'll be like, you're right, I got to start tipping.
And it's not a
bit.
good excuse to be like, my culture doesn't tip. I'll just leave it at that. We can end the episode.
The Amazon. Kid worked at Amazon for a little bit and hates a certain...
That's not who I was talking about, but yeah.
Well, yeah. But no,
just tip.
well, actually, no, it's funny because it's the old white people that get real.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Just anybody who doesn't tip is a jerk off.
Especially because like she hooks it up and especially there, like people think like she has to get food and drinks.
Oh, she's busting it then.
Yeah, and you know, people they'll just walk up to her while she's like fucking vacuuming and taking some and be like, "I need a pizza at 12," and you know, but regardless, that would be funny. That would be a twist.
That would be. Good episode.
Good episode. One quick thing to redeem myself from a conversation that happened 3 years ago. Remember when I said I didn't know Tracy Chapman was a girl?
Mm-hmm.
And you and Rachel, like you guys like to do, teamed up on me, and you're like, that's crazy, this and that. Well, I put on You Got a Fast Car, and Rachel goes, I didn't know she was black.
I did.
Well, Rachel didn't.
I said I didn't know.
No, she said he. And I said, no, you were the one who was yelling at me. I think you didn't know back then, and you were just like, I'm going to be on the right side of the fence, and then teamed up on me.
Well, technically, she made the right call because she is a girl, and she's black.
But no, when she said, back then, she said, I know she was a girl. But then today, she said, I didn't know he was black, and I said, gotcha.
Okay. Well, it's on record now.
Sometimes it's fun to team up on you.
That's true. I'm an
I
easy
didn't
target.
have siblings.
No, it's not that
so.
you're an easy target. It's that you're a demagogue.
Intervention!
You're a demagogue.
Intervention. I control the show.
So the masses have to get together
You know,
to try to check the demagogue.
You know, funny part about this, when we had that argument, I was learning to play her song as the only one who can play the guitar in the group. So you could sing it, and we were like,
That's irrelevant.
That's not irrelevant. I was learning to play this so you could sing while I played you already knew the lyrics. I'm learning to play this song, and then you both were like, you didn't know she was a girl?
That's how you took it.
You mother. This is what I'm dealing with, people. All right?
It's
So
rough.
I guess I'll be all right.
You be all right.
No, I'm just,
Everybody out there is going to be all right.
You all
no
be
matter
all
what
right.
you're dealing with, you're going to be okay.
that is true. That is the point of the show. We like to have fun here. But everyone out there, thanks for tuning in. This was good. I had a lot of fun this one.
Yeah.
They're
all fun.
They're all
give
fun.
The impression that we mostly don't like doing it.
Sometimes he comes over here and he's like, we're podcasting today.
Yeah.
And makes me do this against my will. That's why I'm sitting down, guys. This is a wheelchair.
Well,
they
how
broke my
else
legs.
am I going to get my singing career started, dude?
Speaking of which, follow Steven on his new Twitter.
Yeah. I already plugged myself.
I got a like. I told you I got a like from H. Foley.
Mm-hmm.
That was
big
huge.
time.
They're basically best friends now.
Me and him could be good friends.
That would be a good podcast.
Yeah, and I mean, there would only be a few topics we could talk about, and mostly be
Cocaine.
DXL, coke. But thanks, guys. This is You Be Alright, presented by AML Media. I am Gene Labordi. That's Stephen Labordi, my brother, and my beautiful wife, the producer, and makes all the ones and twos and magics happen, Rachel Labordi. Thanks, guys. Tune in next time.
Can I eat a cube?